Here's a psychology fact you're not ready for. The most dangerous people aren't physically strong. They're mentally untouchable. Psychologists call this psychological dominance, and once you understand it, you'll see why some people control every room they enter while others fade into the background. Your confidence, your relationships, even your success, all of it is influenced by this one mental pattern. But here's the disturbing part. Most people will never develop it because they're too afraid of what it requires. Studies show that 93% of people abandon personal growth the moment it gets uncomfortable. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly why you're in that 93% or how to escape it. Stay until the end because method number 5 is what separates predators from prey in the social hierarchy. Let me show you the 5 ruthless psychological strategies that will make you mentally dangerous. But I'm warning you, once you see these, there's no going back. Most people stop here, and that's the biggest mistake. The first ruthless method is mastering strategic silence. Here's what psychology won't tell you. Your need to explain yourself is destroying your power. Think about it. When someone attacks you with words, your brain screams at you to defend, to justify, to explain. That's exactly what they want. Because the moment you explain yourself, you've already lost. Dangerous people, they stay silent, not because they're weak, but because they understand something brutal. Silence creates psychological warfare in the minds of others. Your brain does this to protect you from conflict, but the reality is it makes you predictable, controllable, weak. When you master silence, people project their own fears onto you. They don't know what you're thinking. They can't read you. And that uncertainty, that's where your power lives. The uncomfortable truth: people don't respect what they can understand. They respect what remains hidden. But here's where it gets even worse. The second ruthless way is cultivating radical emotional detachment. And this next part explains why your life hasn't changed yet. Psychology says people don't ignore you because they're busy. They ignore you because they don't value you. That's the harsh truth nobody wants to admit. But here's the part nobody wants to admit. Your emotional investment in others is giving them control over you. This happens because your brain is hardwired for connection. It craves approval, validation, acceptance. But mentally dangerous people have rewired this instinct. They care, but not in the way you think. They care strategically. They invest emotions like currency, only where it produces returns. Your mind thinks attachment equals strength, but the reality is it's your greatest weakness. Think about the people who've had the most power over you. They all had one thing in common. They didn't need you the way you needed them. That imbalance, that's where manipulation lives. Here's the painful part. Your brain chooses comfort over growth every single time unless you force it to change. Emotional detachment isn't about becoming cold, it's about becoming untouchable. If you're still watching, you're already in the top 7%. Drop a comment below with the word untouchable if you're ready to go deeper. And hit that subscribe button, because what comes next will separate you from everyone you know. But here's the part nobody wants to admit. The third ruthless method is controlled unpredictability. And this is where retention spikes. Because this is where most people's minds break. Psychology research shows that the human brain constantly tries to predict behavior to feel safe. When someone becomes unpredictable, the brain enters a state of hypervigilance, constantly analyzing, constantly guessing. That's psychological control. Dangerous people understand this instinctively. They don't follow patterns. One day they're warm, the next they're distant. Not because they're unstable, but because they refuse to be mapped. Your brain does this to protect you from chaos, but it makes you boring, forgettable, easy to discard. Here's the dark truth. Predictable people get used. Unpredictable people get respected. When you break your own patterns deliberately, when you become impossible to read, you force others into a reactive state. They start responding to you instead of the other way around. This happens because your unpredictability triggers their primal fear response. They don't know if you're a threat or an ally, and that uncertainty keeps you in their mind long after you've left the room.
And this next part explains why your life hasn't changed yet. The fourth ruthless way is developing weaponized awareness. Drop something uncomfortable but true right now. Most people are psychologically blind. They don't see the micro expressions. They miss the subtle power plays. They're oblivious to the social chess game happening right in front of them. But mentally dangerous people, they see everything. Psychology calls this hyper-observance. It's the ability to read body language, vocal tonality, and hidden agendas in real time. And once you develop it, you'll see why you act the way you do, and more importantly, why everyone else does too. Your brain thinks ignorance is bliss, but the reality is, awareness is power. When you can predict someone's next move before they make it, when you can sense their insecurity before they voice it, when you know their weakness before they show it, you become dangerous. Here's the painful part. Your brain chooses comfort over growth every single time unless you force it to change. Most people avoid developing this awareness because it's exhausting. It requires constant mental processing, constant analysis. But that exhaustion, that's the price of dominance. This happens because your mind naturally wants to conserve energy. But dangerous people understand awareness is their competitive advantage.
But here's where it gets even worse, and this is what separates predators from prey. The fifth and most ruthless method is absolute boundary enforcement, and this is where most people's transformation dies. Here's what psychology won't tell you. Every time you let someone disrespect you without consequence, you're training them to do it again. Your relationships, your career, even your self-respect, all of it crumbles when your boundaries are negotiable. Mentally dangerous people have non-negotiable boundaries, not suggestions, not preferences, boundaries. And when someone crosses them, there's no warning, no second chance, just consequences. Your brain does this to protect you from loneliness. It convinces you that forgiveness equals strength. But the reality is, constant forgiveness without accountability is weakness disguised as virtue. Psychology says people don't respect boundaries, they test them, and they'll keep testing until they find your breaking point. Dangerous people understand this. Respect isn't given, it's enforced. When someone disrespects you, your silence isn't mercy, it's permission. It tells them your boundaries don't matter, that you don't matter. Here's the uncomfortable truth that'll change everything. People will treat you exactly how you teach them to treat you. This happens because the human brain is wired to take the path of least resistance. If disrespecting you has no cost.
But when you enforce consequences, when you're willing to walk away, cut people off, burn bridges, you send a message that echoes through every future interaction. I am not to be tested. So here's the truth nobody wants to say out loud. Becoming mentally dangerous means accepting that not everyone will like you. In fact, most won't. Because dangerous people make comfortable people uncomfortable. You'll lose friends. You'll be called cold, arrogant, difficult. But you'll also gain something most people never have: complete psychological autonomy. The choice is yours. Stay comfortable and controllable, or become someone who can't be manipulated, can't be predicted, and can't be broken. Psychology says people don't ignore you because they're busy. They ignore you because they don't value you. But after today, they'll have no choice but to pay attention. If you made it this far, you're no longer part of the 93%. You're awake now. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because we're diving deeper into the psychology of power every single week. Comment below which method hit you the hardest. I read every single one. And remember, the most dangerous thing you can do is stay exactly as you are.